Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Trifium, and welcome back to another Misfits Racing League circuit guide. This time around, we have something entirely different for you. Mikcow is going to be taking you guys through a very in-depth lap of this circuit. We hope you enjoy the new video style. See you on the other side.
Hello everyone, it's Mikcow here once again. So for this circuit guide, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be taking you on a lap slowly first, trying to explain how you find the lap time around this circuit. And then I'm going to show you the hot lap at full speed at the end. So we are of course in Sakir, Bahrain, at the Bahrain International Circuit for round 2 of the Misfits Racing League season number 3. And now you're heading down, flat out into turn 1, and then picking your braking point for turn 1. Now you want to be braking, see where this outside curb is on the left hand side, sorry. You want to be braking just after that starts, maybe about 125 to 120 meters. So about here, this is when you want to be slamming on the brakes. Then you're going all the way down the gears, down into second gear for turn 1. And then you're just trying to turn in, miss that inside curb and just kiss the apex there. If you go over that inside curb, that will unsettle the car, and that will definitely compromise your run through turns 2 and 3. And speaking of, you come up here to turn 2, completely flat, and your turning point is very important here because you just want to get your car over the curb like so here, but not run so far that it invalidates your lap time. So that's a very, very hard apex to get right all the time. Can cause a few warnings, but you just want to be as straight as you can on the steering. And then for turn number 3, you want to ride this raised bit of curb here because it's a lot more stable than the ripple strip that's now underneath the floor of this Mercedes. So you want to ride that, maybe not the entire length curb, but you'll see it at full speed later, and then let the car drift out over to the left hand side in the next DRS zone. Just running your car over the curbing like you have just seen. So you're coming up here, DRS is open, you might be fighting with another car, or this could be just in qualifying. Then you arrive at the top of the hill for turn 4. Your braking point here is right at the 100 meter board. This is where you want to be braking. Going 8th gear, coming all the way down the gears into 4th gear. Then you want to come off of this outside curbing, trying to find your apex there. Just missing the inside curbing, just kissing the apex right there. Let the car drift out wide to set yourself up for turn 5, and you want your car not on the ripple strip but over it like I've got here. So my right side tires are still within the white lines, as you can see. Might be a bit hard to see from this angle, but this is within the track limits, and this is probably the most stable you can get the car while using the full width of the track, which is how you find the lap time. So then you want to hug this left hand side white line into turn 5 using the inside curb there for turn 5, and then turn 6 you just want to carry as much speed as you can, keeping it nice and steady on the throttle and the steering input. Turn 7, you have to be careful of that inside curb. If you take it the wrong way, it will spin you out, and that's the same with this outside curb. I can speak from experience that if you have your car in this little groove in between the curbs, I'll see if I can get my tire in there, something like this, and you're trying to go full power, that will unsettle the car too much, and you'll be heading straight for that left hand side wall, or the right hand side, depending on how you choose to save it. So if you do want to take the curb, we'll just reverse it back a bit. So if you do want to take the curb, you want to be coming as straight as you can, and then use this outside bit here. So if you want to use the curb at this at the exit of turn 7, you want your car to be in a position like that. Just remember that if you cross that white line on that left hand side, it will invalidate your lap time. Now heading into turn 8, it's a very hard braking point to spot. Just as you see that left hand side curb starting, that's where you want to think about braking. So maybe about here where my car is positioned right now, this is about where you want to start to be braking. Just brake in a straight line, very hard braking. and all the way down to second gear. You turn the car in, you just want to kiss that apex slightly, avoiding that inside curb because that curb is very high and it can unsettle the car. And then avoiding the outside curb as you exit, just get as much traction as you can. Very unstable out there. And then for turn 9 and 10, the two, in my opinion, the two hardest corners on the entire circuit. So the idea here is that you compromise your line into turn number 9 to get your braking for turn 10 as straight as possible, because these two corners are notorious for causing flat spots and locking up of that front left-hand tire, because just how the corners are designed and how they flow, it forces you to turn while braking. So for turn 9, using all of the track available, as you can see, not running on the curb but running over it, just keeping those left tires within the track limits. You want to completely miss the apex at turn 9 here, and just keeping the car as straight as you can, and then you want to be braking around here, maybe slightly earlier, but just trying to bring that car out wide, keep the car as straight as you can for the braking, and then turn in to just kiss that apex there. And then it's important to get a good exit. Just try to avoid that outside curbing. It's what I personally like to do. I have seen other drivers go over it like we have before, but yeah, that's just like how I drive around this track. And then going into the third and final DRS zone. Again, similar to the straight between turns 3 and 4, you want to keep your car sort of half in, half out, just keeping that front left tire within the boundaries of the track, and your aim is to have your car over the curb like so. So this is where the car is most stable, and you're opening up turn 11 as much as you can. So we're heading towards turn 11, your braking point about 75 to 70 meters. So about here is when you want to be slamming on the brakes, going all the way down from 8th gear to 4th gear, come off the curb, and you just want to kiss that inside apex. Don't use too much of the curb because it can unsettle the car, and you just want to let the car just carry as much speed as it has, going over the curb like so for the exit of 11. Just open up 12 as much as you can. Now 12 is a very, very hard corner to get right perfectly, especially if you have the wrong kind of setup. So the idea here is that with your setup, you need to be able to take 12 flat out. You know, in qualifying, in the race, in whatever you're doing, you need to be able to take this turn, this uphill right-hander, completely flat out. And the other thing to note that was very prominent in last game as well is that this inside curb, if I hop up on it, you can see how my car's now angled. So this curb here is what the community know as an auto spin curb, because if you are going on this curb, going full throttle, and the car isn't really straight, and you're not, compensating for this instability, you are going to spin and probably end your session right there and then. So you want to avoid that inside curbing, but get as close as you can to it, and then just keeping the steering, nice and straight, carrying all the speed. And then you want to position your car like so here as we approach sector 3 and turn 13. So again, you want to avoid this ripple strip here, this main ripple strip, because it's very, very bumpy. Either go on the raised bit or even completely on the AstroTurf heading into turn 13. At turn 13, your braking point is very, very hard to spot. What I use personally is you see the orange sort of barrier on the right hand side of the screen just underneath where my delta is. As soon as that starts to sort of go out of view, so about here, this is where you want to be braking, all the way down from 7th gear to 4th gear, to be revving out the car in 7th at this point in the lap. Then you just want to come off that curb, just kiss the apex slowly. You can use a little bit of the curb if you wish. It's not too unsettling. and then you just let the car come out wide and then use this raised curb like you did on the entry. You're coming down this back straight. Lots of straights on this circuit, of course. Once the curb finishes, you can come off it a little bit if you're worried about the track limits. Coming down here, flat out, heading into the final braking zone of the lap. This can be a fairly difficult corner to get right as well. So you want to be using all the track available. So avoiding the 150 meter board, or maybe someone else is taking it out, I don't know. But avoiding that 100 meter board, and you want to be braking just after the white line and the 100 meter board and this curb starting. So maybe about here. This is where you, at the very latest, want to be braking for turn 14. You come down and you want your car positioned like I've got here, so with half your car on that AstroTurf and half your car inside the white line, having the floor completely parallel with the ripple strip. That's the red and white bit, in case you didn't know. So you're coming down to use 4th gear for this this corner here, the final proper corner. You want to miss this inside curbing because that's raised, just like it is at a lot of other corners around the circuit, like turn 1 and turn 8 and so on. And then you just want to carry as much speed as you can through 14 into this little right hand kink, which is officially known as turn 15. Try to avoid the bumpy bits on the exit, but if you run a little bit wide, it's not the end of the world. You just want to get as much traction as you can going down the main straight. DRS open, going flat out, and then there's the start finish line. So that is my guide to the Sakir circuit in Bahrain. I'll now show you the hot lap at full pace, and I hope this was helpful. And as always, we hope to see you at the races on the official Misfits Twitch channel on Thursday. So I'll now show you the hot lap at full speed, and I'll see you guys next time.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a fantastic circuit guide here on Bahrain. Here is the setup, of course, a time trial setup. Make sure you tune into the race this Thursday, 3:15 p.m. CDT / 9:15 p.m. BST for the Tier 2 racing action. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please help us out by hitting that like button and consider subscribing for more great racing content.